Welcome to Ace My Exams Learning. Let us get started with today's learning.
History Grade 12. Question: Civil society protests from the 1950s to the 1970s, the Black Power movement. Explain to what extent the Black Power movement depended on the use of violent, radical and militant strategies to end discrimination in the USA. Use relevant historical evidence. The Black Power movement arose in the 1960s against the backdrop of persistent racial oppression, economic marginalization, and political disenfranchisement. Despite the progress achieved by the civil rights movement, African Americans continued to live under the weight of Jim Crow laws, in ghettos and slum areas with poor housing and under-resourced schools, and faced widespread police brutality. Many had grown impatient with the slow pace of change, and nationalist feelings intensified. In this context, the movement adopted violent, radical, and militant strategies as a forceful means to confront systemic injustice, while simultaneously employing nonviolent programs aimed at community empowerment. This deliberate combination of strategies can be understood as a carrot-and-stick approach. Militancy served to break the chains of racism and discrimination, while peaceful programs consolidated gains, rebuilt communities, and fostered long-term empowerment. This essay will demonstrate that the movement depended on militancy to assert rights and protect communities, yet these strategies were always linked to constructive and transformative objectives. Militant strategies were central to the movement's early impact. Leaders such as Malcolm X argued that African Americans had the right to armed self-defense against white oppression, and that bloodshed might be necessary to achieve revolutionary change. He encouraged African Americans to stand up against systemic injustice by any means necessary, emphasizing self-respect, self-discipline, and the cultivation of Black pride. Similarly, Stokely Carmichael criticized nonviolent protest for failing to protect communities from ongoing violence and advocated Black control of politics, exclusion of white liberals from leadership, and even the creation of a separate Black nation. These radical approaches forced white authorities to acknowledge African American grievances and created pressure for social and political reform. Militancy functioned as the stick in the movement's strategy, breaking through entrenched discrimination and compelling recognition of rights through the threat or reality of force. However, militancy alone was never the ultimate aim of the Black Power movement. It was always linked to peaceful and constructive objectives that focused on community upliftment. Malcolm X promoted cultural pride, self-reliance, and personal empowerment, encouraging African Americans to embrace Afro hairstyles, African clothing, and the slogan "Black is Beautiful." Stokely Carmichael emphasized political self-determination and the development of autonomous Black communities. The Black Panther Party, BPP, founded by Bobby Seale and Huey Newton in 1966, perfectly exemplified this dual strategy. While its members patrolled the streets to monitor police activities and protect communities against brutality, the BPP simultaneously ran feeding schemes, childcare projects, literacy programs, and medical services. Women such as Angela Davis and Fannie Lou Hamer played pivotal roles in these initiatives. Here, militancy acted as the catalyst to secure safety and attention, while peaceful social programs acted as the carrot, rebuilding communities, empowering citizens, and promoting long-term equality. This deliberate combination of strategies illustrates the strategic use of a carrot-and-stick approach. Militancy broke through the oppressive structures of racism by confronting authorities and deterring further violence against African Americans. Nonviolent programs followed these breakthroughs, translating political and social gains into practical improvements for the community. Feeding schemes eradicated hunger among youth, literacy programs combated educational inequality, childcare initiatives addressed medical and educational needs, and the demand to teach Black history in schools fostered cultural pride. In this way, violent and radical strategies opened doors, while peaceful initiatives consolidated these openings into lasting empowerment, ensuring that the movement's achievements endured beyond immediate confrontation. Militancy also carried a deeper symbolic role. It was not simply about confrontation with the state, but about reshaping the psychology of the oppressed. For decades, African Americans had been conditioned to view themselves as inferior under white supremacy. By openly carrying weapons, patrolling their own streets, and speaking defiantly against systemic injustice, militants projected an image of dignity, self-discipline, and confidence. This encouraged ordinary black citizens to shed the fear that had long kept them submissive. Militancy therefore acted as a means of psychological liberation, proving that African Americans were capable of defending themselves and asserting their humanity in the face of systemic degradation. This transformation of mindset was itself constructive, because it laid the foundation for communities to embrace pride and self-reliance. The linkage between militancy and constructive objectives became most evident in the Black Panther Party's philosophy of survival pending revolution. Militancy was not an end in itself, but a way to force national attention on the severity of African American oppression and to create space for peaceful initiatives. Armed patrols exposed the reality of police brutality to the wider public while simultaneously shielding communities from further violence. This protection allowed positive development to take root, feeding children, offering free healthcare, and teaching cultural history could not have thrived without the deterrent effect of militancy. The community programs were more than social services. They embodied how Black people wanted to be treated, with respect, dignity, and equal access to opportunities. The discipline of militants, training, organizing, and acting collectively, mirrored values of responsibility and unity, which were then embedded into nonviolent projects. In this way, militancy amplified the urgency of Black struggles, while constructive programs demonstrated the long-term vision of empowerment and self-respect. The outcomes of this dual strategy confirm its effectiveness. By the late 1970s, militancy had already raised the visibility of African American grievances to the national and global stage, forcing recognition of their severity. At the same time, peaceful empowerment initiatives translated this momentum into tangible change. Racial violence and tension decreased, African Americans gained political representation, housing and facilities improved, literacy levels increased, and dependence on state grants declined. Programs such as free breakfasts, healthcare clinics, and cultural education showed how communities envisioned a society where they were treated with fairness, care, and dignity. Affirmative action policies in federal employment reinforced this progress. Together, militancy and community empowerment worked as complementary forces, the first to expose and challenge injustice, the second to model and build the just society African Americans demanded. This deliberate balance secured both immediate protection and long-term empowerment, leaving an enduring legacy of equality, pride, and transformation. Militancy also served as a way to reorient the struggle after years of civil rights campaigns had delivered important gains, but left deep structural racism intact. By adopting a new approach, the Black Power movement signified its relevance in a changing era where African Americans demanded more than legal victories. They sought dignity, pride, and control over their own lives. The movement's militancy was never simply about fighting the white establishment. Its deeper purpose was to confront systematic discrimination and dismantle the everyday injustices that continued to suffocate Black communities. Militancy forced society to reckon with the urgency of these issues, but the true measure of the movement lies not in fiery rhetoric or the carrying of weapons and the patrols, but in the community programs and sense of self-pride that it instilled in African Americans. Feeding the hungry, teaching literacy, building health clinics, and cultivating Black pride created an environment where respect, engagement, and justice could flourish. Therefore, militancy acted as a catalyst for attention, while empowerment initiatives defined the enduring achievements of the movement. In conclusion, the Black Power movement depended significantly on violent, radical, and militant strategies to confront systemic oppression, protect African American communities, and force recognition of grievances. Leaders such as Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, and the Black Panther Party employed militancy intentionally as a tool, while simultaneously promoting peaceful and constructive programs designed to empower communities, improve education, foster cultural pride, and achieve social reform. This dual approach functioned as a deliberate carrot and stick strategy, with militancy breaking the chains of discrimination and peaceful initiatives consolidating gains through empowerment and social transformation. Hence, while the movement relied on radical strategies to confront injustice, its enduring legacy was peaceful, constructive, and transformative.
To access more learning and exam preparation materials, go to www.acemyexams.coza. This link is also in the video description below. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe and be the first to know when we upload new videos.